So there I was, hanging out with my homies on a Tuesday night. We had just seen a new alien movie, and to be honest, I liked it. I thought it was gonna be ass considering the last movie was
Watch me. I'll do the fingering.
What do you mean by that?
yeah, we don't talk about it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. After that, went into our local Barnes & Noble and just browsed through the manga section, talking about the series that we were reading, and one of the series that I brought up was Kagurabachi. It's been a while since I made that review on Kagurabachi, and I was itching to go back and talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do. In this video, I'm going to give my opinions on the most recent arc and my predictions on what's going to happen in the next one. There will be spoilers for the manga from chapters 19 to 45, so if you're not up to date, catch up and click back to this video once you are. With that out of the way, let's get started. In this arc, the main focus is Chihiro finding a way to get into the biggest underground auction house in Japan, the Rakuzaichi. He needs to get in so that he can take back the Shinuchi, one of the swords that Chihiro's father created. To start off, this arc introduces some of my favorite characters in the series so far. The villain? Perfect. I love just how insane he was and how dedicated he was to his beliefs, no matter how much it cost him. Sojo's still better though, don't at me. Hey Yuki? So needs more work. There's not much known about her in this arc, but I imagine they're saving her for the next arc, since this one is centered around my personal favorite character, Hakuri Zazanami. Now as a character, he didn't really hit it off for me at the beginning. He just seemed like the generic comedy relief character that always gets the team into trouble and always needed to be saved. You know, typical side character stuff. However, as the story progressed and I learned more about him and his family, he grew to be the best character in the series for me personally. You see, Hakuri grew up in a family that viewed him as a failure since he couldn't use sorcery and wasn't able to fight like the others. This led to him being constantly abused by his brothers and was stuck doing grunt work by the family. The worst part is that despite all that's happened, he still sees them as his family and doesn't question the things that they do. It's only after encountering a girl that was going to be sold in the auction that he starts to change. He confides in her about his insecurities, and she helps him by assuring him that he isn't what his family says he is. Through their conversations, he learns just how messed up his family truly is. Seeing him break down and degrade himself in this arc was just heartbreaking to see. He truly wanted to help his family, but they didn't see that. All they saw was a failure with no value. For me, seeing Hakuri's growth as a character was a highlight of this arc. Him standing up for himself and finding a new family with Chihiro and his crew is one of the best moments in this manga for me. It shows how well the author is in creating believable characters, and without it, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. So what else is there to talk about in this arc? Did I not just cover the best part? Oh dear viewers, you seem to have forgotten. There is one more thing to talk about. It's something that I believe made this arc go from a 10 to an 11. Yes, I'm talking about the introduction of the sword was everything I hoped it would be. From the beginning, we were told that the Shinuchi was different and that it was the most dangerous out of the other swords. It was the only sword that was sealed away since it defied the Eternal Contract, a system created to keep the swords from being possessed by others. We see firsthand how it defies the system as the user of the Shinuchi tries to mind control Kiora while also giving us an official name for the sword. As a side note, I came across this Reddit post about the name and I thought the points that he made were super interesting. It also helps that they're an SFT fan like me. If you want to take a quick read for it yourself, I'll link it in the description below. To give you a quick summary, the way that Magasumi is written in the Japanese version is with these characters. Directly translated, it means curved sin, and it's meant to represent Kunishige's guilt for creating the swords. When the enchanted blades were created, they changed the outcome of the war, but the Shinuchi itself was the deciding factor for ending the war itself. It would make sense that he would feel guilty since those swords took so many lives despite saving millions. From the 4 chapters that it appears in, I can see how it ended the war. All of its attacks are based on insects and it has a unique ability that creates a bed of flowers that will kill anyone that it contacts in the most gruesome way possible. Its themes of death, power, and beauty are perfectly captured with the insect and flower motifs since in Japanese culture, they represent rebirth, destruction, and death. The author really outdid himself with the artwork for this arc because these panels are just simply amazing. I think at this point you guys get the idea. This arc was amazing and what it introduced made me fall for this manga more than I already have. The fights were phenomenal, the story and characters arcs were done perfectly, and the villain himself is almost as good if not better than the previous one. So what happens next? At the end of the arc we see that Chihiro makes a deal to join the Kabunabi in order for them to seal the sword. From the latest chapter, which is 45 at the time of this recording, he's going to try to meet the other users of the enchanted blade. My prediction in the next arc is that we're going to be introduced to a trader in the Kabunabi, and the whole arc is going to be a prologue to the introduction of the Hishaku. We already know that they have the other enchanted blades, but they're not able to use them because of the Eternal Contract. Since the Kabunabi have the other users protected in special areas, it's most likely they're just going to kill them since the leader wants to use the Shinuchi and the other blades for himself. As for which sword user we'll be introduced to, I believe we're going to meet the old man, assuming he was the first enchanted blade user. So, as I was doing my research for this video, the latest chapter came out and my prediction was wrong on this one. It seems the first user we meet is this guy and it's looking to be an escort mission this arc. Yeah, that prediction wasn't helping you guys. I still believe, however, that this arc will probably have more backstory and world building, since we still don't know much about the actual lore of the series. As someone who loves lore and world building, I'm all for it, but if I'm wrong, then this video has aged poorly. But with that said, let me know down below what your predictions are for the next arc and what your thoughts were on the Rakuzaichi arc. I would love to hear your opinions on them, since I read all my comments and I always try to reply to all of them as fast as I can. But until next time guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on reading.